got a special interview with Bastien, also known as Gabriel the Angel.
Right
And
on.
now with his new band, The Dark Passenger, and we're at his home now just from a gig, and we're going to listen at some questions I have to ask him and what he has to say about it. First of all, thank you, Bastien, for letting us in your home. Is this the first time you've been interviewed at your home?
No, no,
And if so, thank you very much for sharing your privacy with us.
no problem.
So yeah, tell me about yourself. What drives you really?
Well, actually, I started a long time ago, about more than 10 years ago, as manager of some bands. I've started my own little promotion label, and I wrote a lot of music for those bands as well. And at one point, I had more than 50 bands playing through all the city, and it was quite cool. But I've been playing music myself since I was a kid, and I really missed something in my life. And then 10 years ago, I had a terrible accident, and well, which made me a cripple. And I haven't been able to walk for years. I had to learn everything anew, and that really changed the perspective of life. And I also had my daughter born, and 2.5 years ago, my son born, and well, your family comes first place always, uh, as much as I love my wife, well, the thing happened. We're in a divorce now, and no, but I always kept my style, even when I was in my marriage, and I always was writing music, and I think now it's time to come out of the closet, as you can say, and go and bring that music to the people. I think that's a really important part, and that should be now the continuance of my life, and of course the care of my children. I've got a very pretty daughter. She's 10 years old. So she's the greatest. She's called Luna, and I've got this wonderful, clever little boy. His name is Maxime. He's 2.5 years old, and he is so brilliant. And both from the moment they could stand, they when they heard some music playing, you could see them move in the rhythm, and they didn't miss a beat, completely into the rhythm. And I think those children have a musical gift, and uh, I think that even after and still having a part family, and now being single, that you can show your kids that making your dream possible, and being a musician is something that comes out of your heart, and you can make it true. I've been through 2 terrible years. I'm a cancer survivor, and I've been in those years. I've been married, and I also have been very lonely, and also have been very cared for. So it's really a mixture of feelings that I'm going to put in my new songs now, and it's a lot of experience. It's a lot of sad experience, but there are also a lot of beautiful, wonderful moments, and especially the moments with my kids, which also give me the power and the creativity to go on, and to make this true, and to realize that yeah, well, that wonderful thought, and that warmth, and that emotion, and that blues that music can give you. it can be so comforting and so supporting. I know that one song helped me through the period that I was very very sick and very ill, and it was a song from My Chemical Romance, an excellent song, and one other song that made me believe myself again was a song from David Bowie, and that's also an excellent song. That's We Can Be Heroes. So yeah, I think yeah, on what you just asked me, my musical is very influenced, very biographical, and also it's this is I said it in an interview before also, this is probably the best time to make rock music, because we hadn't had a time since the early 70s that was so good for rock musicians, and I really think that you've got to pull everything out of that. And if you can make music, and if you feel it, and if a song can make you laugh or cry, or even feel a little less lonely, makes you feel understood, then if you can create something like that, then you ought to share it, because there are so many people who feel insecure, who feel lonely, who feel that nobody understands them, and that is such a sad thing. And if you listen to songs, you can hear that there always has been somebody in that same situation as you have been now, and that's a comforting thought, very comforting. Um, if I smoke often, no, no. I rarely smoke in my house. First of all, and I try to limit my cigarettes to one or two a day. I used to smoke heavily, but that was before my son was born. And no, now it's Sunday. In the weekends, I drink one glass of rosé, and that's everything. Because I think you have a choice. You know, you can put your emotions in music, and or you can put them in alcohol or booze or drugs, and but the next day they make your life so miserable, and they can hurt so much. They hurt everybody around you, and I've seen it with friends who've gone down the drain with very clever minds and good jobs, and but it it devastates you. It changes your process, and well, that's a shame. That's a shame, because God gave you this brain to do something with you, with it, and God gave you the gift of emotion to share it. So that's a very important thing. Ask me again. Yeah, yeah, no, 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 no. First of all, I, I, I never believed that rock music could be dead. We had the 90s, and the 90s was, for music, it was awful. It was really, it was awful. In the 90s I was longing for the 80s, and I'm not going to tell you my age. No, not at all. And well, what you had that 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 superb peak in music, and you had in the late 70s you had the anarchy punk that kicked against the society, and then the punk music changed, and the lyrics became more adaptive, and emotionally involved, and softer, and that hardened bit that we built up during the Cold War, that changed the way people were thinking. And then we've got the new romantics, we've got the new wave, we've got the pop culture, and then in the 90s you suddenly you get the boom boxes, boom 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 boom, and totally a change in music where you got all those remixes, and it was just like there was no creativity. There were performers that still created beautiful things, like for example Michael Jackson, and but there was so much garbage, and well, there was a moment that I really thought, oh, this is never going going to heal again, because I don't know any tune that's in the hit parades, and I just didn't know them because they didn't speak to me. Um, uh, I love electronic music from real synthesizers, but everything was sampled, and uh, I like to have real steel under my fingers when I hit the guitar, and I like to have real keys, keys that have some weight on them when I play a piano. I think if I got a piano, if I have a piano, I should also be able to play classical music on it, or I should be able to play jazz on it, and it should not only be samples on the keys. And now that we've got this back and we've got those new terrific sounds, those completely unique new rock sounds, this is probably the best period in rock music. I'm sure of it. Yeah. Well, the name The Dark Passenger, it came to me the last 2 years. I had my hair totally blonde, and I wore suits, and people always told me, and especially my ex-wife, she said, you look kind of like Bowie like this, you have that androgyne look, and you remind me of the time of the